Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly live, and this is show number two. And as you know, I'm learning. I'm learning how to do this. Um, but it's one of those things where Johnny and I have the Fly for Fun show, and that's so successful, and I can't say how glad I am to be a co-host on that show with Johnny. But I'm glad you all came into the new show that I started up on Monday nights at 6 p.m. I'm going to try to make it very interesting, you know. And I had, believe it or not, I had a little intro that I edited down, and it went from a minute 1 second down to 47 seconds, and it's nothing fancy or nothing like that. But I'm afraid that if I play it, I lose the whole stream. So, hey, Eddie, good to see you. And Barry, let me just welcome in a few people. Um, and Johnny, of course, good to see you. Billy, Drone Guy, Rhode Island, Mr. JRC's. Ken, place it here. Thanks for coming in. Um, and I have a great guest lined up. If anybody saw the post on Facebook, you know who it is. But he is a great guy. First of all, I'm honored to know him. You know, um, I met him in person at the South Florida Drone Meetup. He was gracious enough to come down, and I knew immediately once I met him in person. I said, "Me and Mark, we're going to hit it off just great." And Mark, he's such a great guy. He's willing to help anybody, and if anybody gets to know him, you'll see. You'll be able to just call him up. Hey, Mark, you got a minute? Um, and he'll help you. And I've taken him up on that a few times now, and he's helped me with different questions that I've had. Um, but one thing I got to say, you guys know that I like the drone meetups, and I started the South Florida Drone Meetup last year, and it was a success. And while I was down there, Mark asked me, he says, "Ray, I want you to come up to Rhode Island and run one of these." And I told him, I says, "Mark, you can do it. There's no doubt about it. You do it, and it'll be successful." And he did. He took my suggestion, and him and Michael Blade and a few others, Drone Guy Rhode Island, Billy, and there were so many people there. This meetup that he had, I believe it was in August, if I remember right, was so successful. Eddie Nunez was there, and Barry. I met Barry there. That's where I met him for the first time. And hey, Robbie, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. But Mark pulled off one of the best drone meetups that I've been to, other than, of course, the South Florida Drone Meetup. Speaking of which, I'm not going to talk to the camera all by myself. He's in the back room now. He's eating that steak and lobster that I supplied tonight, and I know you guys are going to love him. The guys who already know him know how great he is. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Mark Fisher of Vision Media Productions, and he's also the founder of the Rhode Island Drone Meetup Group. And
hey, good evening,
there he
Captain
is.
Ray. You know you can't have Halloween without candy corn, right?
Yeah, look at that. I'll tell you. That's it,
This
man.
is the best stuff on earth, man. This is old school at its best, right here.
Candy corn. Wow.
How you doing, Captain Ray Kelly, man? It's a pleasure to be on your show tonight, man.
Thank you and welcome. There's a lot of people in the chat already. They must have heard you will be the guest, and they want to get to know Mark Fisher a little more. I know you're pretty good, Mark.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you again for coming to the South Florida Drone Meetup.
So no, that was like an amazing drone meetup. And when you said before I came on about it being better than the Rhode Island Drone Meetup. I agree. I mean, I can't agree more, because basically it was it was a model for what I needed to do at the Rhode Island Drone Meetup. And, who better to have at that meet? It wouldn't have been anything without Captain Ray Kelly, of course. Now, wait a minute. When you said that I'd help anybody, not just anybody, because there's one guy that I will not help, and that's Johnny Drone Flyer.
Oh, Jay.
No. I if that guy ever calls me, I will not, because he's never invited me to his house for a I can't even say it with a straight face, but I want one of those crawfish broil, or one of those crawfish. Come on, Johnny. Can I be invited? So no, Johnny's a great guy. And I also enjoy being on the other show there, Fly for Fun. Two great shows, man. And I know this show is going to be successful, with the two great hosts that you guys are. So it's a pleasure to be here. And I'd like to say hello to everybody in the chat. And thank you for coming in and supporting.
Aaron from Australia just popped in. How you doing, Peter?
Oh,
Michael McReynolds. Matt Bagwell, good to see you. And Jerry Bauer up in Canada. Good to see you. We got so much to talk about tonight, Mark. And
yes.
It's one of those things where, it's getting cold now,
Yes.
So I start drinking out of my Proud to be a Snowbird cup.
There you go. Now, is that
a
mug?
I'll be leaving for Florida pretty soon, but
yeah, just rub it in. Just rub it in.
I'm not trying to rub it in because we got the South Florida second annual South Florida Drone Meetup.
Right.
That's all set to go already. And it's one of those things where if I know how to do it, I'm going to scroll it along the bottom. And that's going to be on April 2nd, 2022 in
That's
Jensen
right.
Beach.
Let me say that real loud. April 2nd is the South Florida Drone Meetup. I just want my wife to hear that. But anyways.
And this is your personal invitation. You and Ingrid have to come down.
Yes, absolutely.
It just won't be the same without you.
That's right. Hey, but before you go to Florida, I heard you're coming down to Rhode Island again. Well, Massachusetts, which is 20 minutes away, and I hear you're coming down to Battleship Cove.
Yeah, that's in my plan.
Fall River.
My list. It's one of those things
that's gonna be fun.
I want to do, and I want to fly.
And you said a mini meetup, but I think we could pull it off to be a pretty big meetup, because I'm sure Captain Ray Kelly's in town. Wow. You kidding me? The whole Rhode Island Drone Meetup is gonna want to be there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we'll have a good time.
Fire alarm! That's just joking.
Barry, he's in the chat, and he flew it.
Yeah.
I forget when in the summer, but he put up a great video on that, and that's what kicked in the idea in my head. I got to get up there.
Well, Barry's, he's plugging away. That guy's just on it, man. And I hear he has several children. He has a lot of children, because I read something that he was preparing them to go out for trick-or-treating last night. And I think it was something that was going on, and he couldn't really, be involved in it, because he had to prepare his children. And that's great. He's a good father, that shows that he's a good father, and that's great. But he's plugging away, man. this guy's kicking out videos.
700. I think he hit 700 subscribers. Congratulations,
really? That's good, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
Glad
you love to hear that. At least I love to hear it,
I do too, even though I got 250 subscribers, that's big.
Well, it's one of those things where I've been struggling, and it's one of those things where you really got to promote yourself,
Yeah. I had 250,000 subscribers, but just yesterday I lost.
Well, when you lose,
I can't do the math.
I have a terrible tendency, and I know it must be annoying for the viewers, that I move around so much in my chair here. By the way, this is a new chair. you know, my old chair used to squeak. Somebody, I won't mention any names, but somebody said, "Go get some oil for your chair."
You sure? You sure it was the chair?
but, but I want you to look at this chair.
Wow, that chair is nice.
I mean, look at
That's a
that. You
nice
know,
chair. I
I
better
mean,
hide my chair. Let me hide my chair because I think we paid. My wife's old job had a whole bunch of them. Exactly, actually, where I got not the screen in back of me, but this screen right here, which is an Apple screen, Apple
okay.
monitor,
Yeah.
and I got that from her job too for $50.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
You can't beat that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
actually grabbed two of them and gave one to my son. But yeah, so
Well,
I'm actually in my office right now. So, but I don't have a nice chair like that.
it's a nice chair. Well, you know, Staples, 159. It was on sale last week. But this is my anniversary present. You know, this
That's
week
too much.
is our
That's too
anniversary.
much for me. I buy $4,000 cameras.
This is our 49th anniversary this year. So this is
Oh,
what I
nice.
got a chair.
Wow. That's hey, look. I, you know, I got my headphones on, so this is like my wife probably can't hear this conversation, but I'm thinking about taking the headphones off so that she can hear the conversation about,
Yeah,
the things that these guys are getting,
I
like nice
know,
chairs
I know,
like that,
I know.
you
But
know?
I am being nice, and I bought her a nice present already, and we're gonna
Good.
take a ride down to Atlantic City, spend it at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino,
Good for you.
and go to Angelo's. I don't know if you know Angelo's in Atlantic City, but that's a good Italian restaurant.
Forget about it.
Mark, let's talk drones. You know, we
Yeah,
got to
that's
get
it. Yeah.
drones
Yeah,
because
because we're gonna
this is
lose all
primarily
15 of
a
our
drone show,
yeah.
and you know, I am going to
Do
bring
I
my Air
do I
2S
got
right
any
here. I got
do
my
I got
Air
any drones
2S,
around? I don't even got a drone around. Imagine that.
but that's okay.
That's all right. All right.
Uh,
So you got a drone, and that's
I'll
good.
fly around for us, you know. So,
That's great. So that Air 2S
what
has
do you
been
think about this drone?
that drone's amazing. And I know when it first came out, I was a little disappointed that it didn't have the variable aperture, but that drone's amazing because when I bring that to work. So I use the Evo 2 Pro 6K for work, and I use the Air 2S. I needed a smaller drone, especially on the shoots that I've been doing, which is warehouses. I've been shooting the Amazon warehouses, and that drone came in handy because it's a warehouse. So you want to have something small, compact, 1-inch sensor that does go well in low light, and when you're shooting a D-Log, you get that good field, depth of field on it, field of view actually too. So it's a really good drone. It handles well. The flight characteristics is amazing. The only problem I did have, and I didn't have this before the last update, I believe, is that when I was flying inside, it wanted GPS. Uh, I had to wait a while before it could pick up, and
Right.
in certain areas of the warehouse, it didn't allow me to take it
Okay.
up as high as I wanted to go. I was able to go up 16 feet when these ceilings were like between 80 feet or something like that. From what I felt is about 80 feet or so.
Yeah.
This is a big warehouse, so um, I got stuck in area, and then I had to wait for it to pick up. It doesn't get actual GPS, but it gives you the allows you to get up higher, and but that's the only problem I had. I never had a problem with it, but you know what? From flying it inside, I took it outside. You know what? It did the whole job, and I sent in. So on these Amazon jobs, I don't have to do the editing. So I'm able to just take the footage and just send it off and let them do that work. But I shot everything on the Air 2S, and my feedback was they loved it.
That's
So
good. Well, it just
yeah,
shows you if Mark Fisher uses it for a professional job, that means it's a great drone. There's no doubt about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
And
know,
and this
I know you're an Autel fanboy, as they say.
yes, yes. I mean, the camera on that thing is amazing on the Evil 2 Pro. I mean, not the 8K, you know, but that one inch sensor 6K. You know, I don't really shoot in 6K all the time. It's mostly what I like is the 4K 60. You know, being able to slow things down and not having to fly fast. And if you have to fly fast, you could still shoot things, and that's important to have that 4K 60. A lot of people say, well, you can put it on tripod mode, you know, or shoot it in like a cinematic mode. But if you're following something that's going fast and you want to slow that down, let's say you're following a boat and you want to shoot that boat, but then you want to slow it down, give it that nice effect in slow motion with the waves and stuff.
We got a question for you, Mark,
Yeah.
from Eddie Duda. He wants to know how the editing is going for the Rhode Island Drone Meetup.
Yeah. Eddie, is there any way to throw people out of the chat? Eliminate people?
No. Eddie he's such a good guy.
Eddie's great, and he's doing really well on that. Being
he's the new co-host.
He's a co-host.
You know, and they got a good.
Yeah,
good
he's doing amazing. Yeah, it's a great show. I've watched it a couple of times. I like seeing Eddie there. I like that he's moving up, and you know he deserves it. You know, he knows a lot, and he's been in this for a long time, as long as I've known him. And that's been a little bit, you know. And I know he just had a baby not long ago, about a couple of months ago, and his baby was dressed up like Superman, I think. Yeah.
You probably don't remember it, but you know when I pulled up to the Rhode Island Drone Meetup group, you know I met you and Michael Blade initially. You know, we said hello to each other, but then I met Eddie. He's filming already. He's filming. He's coming in on me, and I'm filming. You know, because I use my my cell phone on my little tripod, which I don't have.
Right.
I'm using, but I got it, and we're filming each other, and that's not an awkward moment, but he's filming me.
You didn't,
him, and
did you know him before that?
I know him from the chats, yes, and I met him down at the Brooklyn meetup a month before in person.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
And Eddie is really a great drone pilot and photographer.
He is, absolutely, he is. Yeah,
you know,
and I think what makes drone pilots really good too is the fact, and this is just my opinion. It's not something that you know anybody that's in the chat. I'm not trying to eliminate them saying that you can't be a good drone pilot photographer without having a regular camera, but it's a plus, believe me. And I think Eddie will back me on this. By having a camera, and this is one of the ways I learned about a drone camera is that, you know, when I first started flying, this was a while ago, going back 6-7 years ago. I said, man, I'm a little nervous to play with the camera on this drone and understand the settings. So I went out and got a camera and figured out the settings on the ground, so I didn't have to pay attention to the drone in the air. And once I learned that, it made me a better aerial photographer. You know what I mean? So if you're out there and you don't have a camera, whether it's a point and shoot or it's a crop sensor camera, I listen, you know, say go out and grab a camera, man, and play with it. And if you continue to shoot in auto, you're never gonna learn manual.
Well, I have to say, this is my backup right here. And I have a regular,
but you can shoot
a Canon. I forget the numbers on the Canon that I have, but that's down in Florida. But I just
is that the GoPro 10?
No, this is only a 7. I get the 7.
Oh, 7?
I keep saying I'm going to get the 8. Then I said I'm going to get the 9. Now I'm saying I'm going to get the 10.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you right now, it's good to like hold on to some of those GoPros and wait a while. Don't get the 8 and then there's then the 9 and then the 10. And it's the same way with drones. Like it's like, oh, I gotta get this one and I gotta get that one and I gotta get this one. You haven't even learned everything that you can learn or pull everything that you can pull out of that camera or the specs that it has out of that one drone that you have now, and you're already moving on to something else. You're never going to learn enough about it. And I'll tell you right now, when you learn so much more about one drone, when you move on to the next, it's a stepping stone to like understanding the next drone that you get.
Right.
And its features, you know what I mean? So,
well, again, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that, I do very basic photography, very basic flying. I'm a wimpy flyer, a conservative flyer, and I'm just having fun making my videos,
so, so I'm glad you said that, Captain Ray, because, at the end of the day, yeah, I might work doing this, but the work is stressful, and it's this and it's that. And the most fun I get out of flying is when I'm flying for fun. And I love the idea that you guys come up with, this Fly for Fun show, and like just the concept of that. It's just like it's real. It's grassroots real. Like it's like when I get out there and just free fly, I call it. Like just get out there and just start creating. It helps me also in my work. So because I can go out there and I try these different things, and then when I get into work or doing things, I can try these things at work too. So that's the best of it. And once you're wrapped up in like a business, a media business and everything, you get so caught up into it, you get stressed out. Believe me when I tell you, it's stressful. I mean, I'm still working. I pumped out a wedding. I'm almost done with this commercial that I'm shooting, that I shot. And some of these things had deadlines, but you get stressed out. And if you don't do the passion side of why you got into this and what you loved about it, if you don't, and you put that to the side and don't take like a day or two out of the week, you start losing it. And before you know it, you're like getting thoughts of like, I just want to get out of this. And believe me, that comes to my head.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Mark. What type of jobs do you like doing the best? Professionally.
So, the jobs that I would love to do that I haven't done yet would be documentaries.
Okay.
I don't do so many. I only worked on one music video actually, and that was with my brother. I won't do music. Actually, I did a couple. One was for a classic kind of rock band. They're now, but they have a real classic rock and roll feel to them, and they're older guys, and they're just awesome, and then they got a really good sound, and I love how they play. They're great musicians. So I did something for them. Nothing really in depth. We planned on it, and then the pandemic hit, and so we really haven't got around to doing something really cool with them. But for me, documentaries, wildlife documentaries, which
Yeah.
you probably have seen up on my
Yeah,
YouTube.
I got to compliment you on your wildlife photography, and your photos are amazing. The different
Thank you.
wildlife, the birds, especially.
Yeah, and that's like I said, that's the passion part of it. And so some of those videos that I make of the wildlife are just stuff that I can go out and just be out in the middle of the wilderness and just be like, well, I call it wilderness, but it's like 15-20 minutes from my house, and I'm still pretty much in the
great.
city.
It's so close,
But you're out there, and you really get in touch with wildlife, and it's amazing because when you're sitting there for hours just to wait for that bird to move or wait for that bird to eat, you suck in everything that's going on, and you get to see them in action, and it just separates you from like the world. You know what I mean? So documentaries that make a difference, that matter. I always wanted to do something on drug addiction, like the pandemic of surrounding opioids, and just bringing awareness to people that don't really know much about, and helping people to understand that these people that get addicted to these drugs are people like ourselves.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't just come from broken family. Some of them had real businesses, and I met a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, to interrupt you, but my new shirts that I just had made, And I should have had one here to show everybody like I did last week, but I wasn't thinking. But my new shirts have a tagline on the bottom of them. Let's get kids hooked on drones, not drugs.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So that's huge too. And I've always had a heart for kids and learning. And then when I got into the drone technology, I think it had to be about 4 years ago where I was trying to I was trying to talk to some of the community leaders here and everything, and I was like, listen, this drone thing is big. You should really let me, come into an after school program and teach the kids and, get them, learning how to do mapping and coding and all this and that, and there was no go. It was like I was talking to a brick wall, and now look at us right now. They actually have it in schools out in California and all that right now, so
right.
No, but no, definitely. This is their future.
Yeah, no, it's good to get the kids, teach them in schools. I reached out to a couple of teachers I know and offered my expertise, or I just wanted to go demonstrate to the kids how to fly a drone.
Yeah.
And they had told me, well, I don't think we're going to be able to get the approval before November, before you go to Florida, so we may have to do it in the springtime.
Yeah. So I had suggested also. Now I do work in a school. I'm not working this year or nor last year, but the year before I was. I'm actually visiting the school tomorrow. It's the Met School tomorrow. I'm going to be visiting that school. We're going to be talking to a kid about videography and all this and that. And I think they're looking for me to be a mentor to this kid, and him tagging along with me somehow. So I don't know. I'm going to work it out with them. But I did work in an art school a couple of years ago, and I was supposed to go back this year, but I think they're limited of who they're allowing in the school and this and that. But anyways, but yeah, that's like amazing. So I did run into somebody.
Ken Huffbauer was in a chat. I know you're probably not reading the chat, and I'm doing the best I can. But Ken Huffbauer got a kid hooked on drones 2 days ago.
Nice.
So way to go, Ken. That's it, man.
That's how you do it, Ken.
Yeah,
that's how you do it, man. And this is their future. And we got to pass it along to them because, get them into it, because it gets them outside also. And it's almost like playing a video game,
Yeah. I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation to come on the show, Mark. I really am.
Appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here.
In the chat, please go to his channel. Check it out. His group, the Rhode Island Drone Meetup group, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes too.
Yeah.
But you got to go to and join that group because it's a great group. I was privileged and honored to be allowed to become a member, and those guys in that group, not just you, but they post a lot of good photography.
Yeah, there's a lot of
videos.
Yeah.
And again, your group will help people if they have questions about drones or flying.
Absolutely. Yeah, you post a question up there, it gets answered so fast. Everybody's always willing, and that's how I wanted this group from the beginning. I wanted it structured where, we're not like, we always come across this in groups about like, this guy is he's drone police. There's rogue groups out there. You come to Rhode Island Drone Meetup, we're not playing that. We're sticking by, and everybody bends the rules here and there. I'm not gonna be like so hard on people, but what we gotta understand is, because the drone police thing goes a little bit far, and you start calling people snitches. Now the thing is, where is the person's heart? They love this technology. And how do we lose this technology? Well, we lose it by people breaking the rules. Yeah. We all know that these drones could go 10,000 far. We got reviews on the thing. Let them guys do the 10,000. Oh, it goes that far? Because, think about it. If you go 10,000 feet, you're not going to know where your drone's at, first and foremost. Now you got like $1,000 or more in the air. Even if it's over $500, and it's somewhere you don't know, that thing, you lose connection. Somehow technology is not 100%, and you flew over something, a structure or something like that, that, you know, this thing goes haywire and it falls in anything, or how high can I go, you know?
Yeah.
I seen a guy in the group, I'm not gonna mention what group, is I went up 3,000 feet. I'm like,
Wow. I know.
dude, what
Let
is
me
wrong
say
with you,
hello
man?
to a few more people in the chat. And QC guy, Chris, how you doing? Maddie, good to see you. Maddie's Drone World. And
Maddie, how are you, man? Maddie's a great dude, man.
I'm just so afraid if I hit on certain things, I'll lose everything. Yes, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. And I
That's all
know
right. You'll figure it out.
JSK
But
at the top.
so you know, as far as with Rhode Island Drone Meetup, you know, I don't tolerate a lot. I try to keep the drone group running smooth so that there's not drama. You know, we don't have to call anybody out because, you know, if you want to go fly rogue, do that on your own. Post it wherever you want to post it, just not in the group. You know, I'm not telling you what you can do and, you know, what you can't do. Which, uh, uh, but you know, it's a place where you can, it's a group that you can go and get a question answered, or be inspired, or get inspired, or, you know what I mean, get inspired, be inspired, or inspire somebody else. And I want this group, like, I want to help people to rise to the levels of the guys that are the more experienced guys, so that they can rise over us and that we can rise with them, you know, so we all build together and build ourselves up, you know, and learn as much as we can about. But we're not going to learn everything about this technology because it keeps on changing and keeps on growing, you know, but we help each one teach one, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, like I said, I was honored that you let me come in. And I've recommended it to many people.
I think it's the other way around. We're honored to have you a part of the group. Tell you, I'm honored to have a lot of the guys in the group. I mean, you know, and I know it's a handful of people that really are active in the group, and I don't bother the people that are not really active because I don't know what's going on in their lives. I don't know if they're going through something. I don't know why they don't post or why they're not active. I'm not going to ask that as long as they're not there, they're in there for drama, you know. But we are going to shut the doors on the group when we
Again,
reach
again. Oh
40.
man.
Oh, no, 401. So we're going to get to 401, and that's where it's going to stop.
Okay, 401.
Yeah, because that's our area code.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah. I don't want the 3,000. And I you know, I see other groups. I don't want 3,000. I don't want 4,000. I
No,
want to
no.
be able to handle it. I want it more
Robert
family
Lee,
oriented.
Lee, how you doing? Thank you for coming in.
Hey guys, thank you for coming in the chat. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I have to say, I took your advice and started that South Florida drone meetup group based on the Rhode Island drone meetup group.
Awesome.
But again, I'm not one of those guys that check it every day,
Yeah, yeah.
And I apologize
It's
to the
tough.
people that
It's
do.
a job.
But I'm getting better at it, And I've noticed a lot of people are putting up some good videos and photos, and we encourage that.
Wait, is Eddie Nunes still in the thing? Because he's gonna say, "Where's that South Florida drone?" Oh, wait a minute. No, he's gonna ask. I did the South Florida drone meetup video. I actually did it quicker than I did. See that? See how awesome your
I know
meetup
one
was?
thing. I know one thing that I love that shot, that one shot of the group at the very end. And I asked you if I could use it.
The drone.
You allowed me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
step to the clip,
yeah,
and I used
yeah. The
it.
clip at the end. Yeah.
And let me welcome in Kevin, all the way from Scotland. How you doing, Kevin?
Woo! Scotland.
Thank you for
Scotland
coming
Yard.
in. But you got a great place to fly right there in Rhode Island, down at that park with the docks and everything. That's a good
Yeah,
location.
and there's see that what's great is that on the other side of that, which is it's kind of funny because but it's not, because like if the sun is rising, you can actually go over the Bull Point, which is right across the way, and that's like the East Providence side. But that's a nice park over there where we go fly also.
Okay.
But then when the sun is setting, so if you want the sun to the back of you and be able to catch that side, it's good. It all works out. But there's like a lot of spots over there. There's a pedestrian bridge, which I don't think you went over to, but there's a
No,
lot
I
of
didn't.
great areas. I
Yeah.
think the guys from New York that came in, all the people that came from New York, we went out to eat the evening before, and they all wanted to go out and fly, and I took them to this place called Prospect Park, which overlooks the city, and that's amazing place to fly. And what's so great about it is that Providence, there's no restrictions really. We're close to the airport somewhat, but we're out of the we're out of the the red zone there. So
Yeah. No, that whole, again, I only came up for the day. I got on that early ferry in the morning from Long Island. And then I got on that last ferry going back, but you guys got a lot of flying in, especially the guys from New York. They came up there and they made a nice
yeah,
little long weekend out of it.
yeah. And
And
then
that's what I
that day
encourage too. Make a
yeah,
little vacation out of it when you come to Florida. If you can only come
yeah.
for one weekend, all well and good. But
Yeah, nah. If you get up there now, see, I went up, and excuse me, I was able to be up there for. I mean, I think we stayed about 11, 12 days. So that was coming towards the end of my vacation there.
you got family in the area, right?
That's
Down in
right.
Florida. I don't know if
And
I
we
should
could stay
say
there
that.
any time. I could stay there.
Yeah, yeah. But it's one of those things where I love Florida. You know that.
Yeah. I might have
Uh,
to come up because I mean I've never got the honor of going over to Peanut Island. So.
well, yeah, yeah. I know, it's funny because that was in my intro that I made up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out how to put it on, and then
Uh, yeah.
even this, I don't know how to share photos yet or videos, but we're gonna figure it all out, and we'll be
Yeah.
able to do it. And then
You'll
we'll
get
be
there.
able to ask people to send videos, and we'll start sharing them. But Mark,
At the end of the day, the main thing is, you're gonna have some great guests. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that because I'm on, but I'm saying that in the future. You had a great guest last week. And I think that's the importance of it. I'm sure at some point Maddie's gonna be on. He's gonna be great, I think.
I got my
And
list right
you
here.
got your list already? Yeah. See, and that's the great thing. And those smaller things that you'll get around to. It's nice to have a nice opening act or so. I mean, I can always just do the opening and maybe like wear a vaudeville hat and
Yeah, sure.
costume, you know what I mean? Like and just come in and say dun, 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 dun.
It's one of those things where I did move my globe. I moved my globe over here. I was going to say, now
Oh
what
man,
adventure are we going to go on today? You're
that's
not
the
sure here.
icon. That's the icon, Captain Relly adventure globe right there. Excellent. So we want to get back to drones. So this date has kind of changed on this Mavic 3, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's breaking news. We had some breaking news today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up on Thursday now, right? The 4th at 10 p.m.
Thursday. I wonder what the availability is going to be. I mean, after they introduce it, I wonder if it's going to be at Best Buy or or like some of these.
They don't have a few.
I think. I think Best Buy will have probably the regular package, just the one drone battery and thing. I'm sure they'll have that. They'll probably have the Fly More combo when it starts getting up to the 4,000 or whatever it's going to be. I think that's where they're going to cut it off, and you're only probably going to be able to purchase that online.
Okay, you think that's the way they're going to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy in store the Fly More combo because that's what it looks like with their regular drones. I don't think Best Buy are really like, they don't. Well, they do have the Sony cameras which are up there in the 3,000s, But I mean, I think that you'll be able to get that Cine pack online because we're looking at almost 5Gs for that thing.
I know. I don't have that kind of money for drones just yet. But if I win the lotto, I'm buying one.
Yeah, if I win the lotto, I'm buying you one.
But anyway, let me say hello to a couple more people. Bob Casey, good to see you. And Sammy, Sam and Rose, good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
We got a lot of people in the chat too.
Yeah.
PC guy, Bob Casey.
And,
We just said.
let me put up Bob Casey's because it looks like a question. Let's see. What would be nice if the batteries from the MA2 would work on this M3? You're right, Bob.
No, that's not going to happen.
But I don't think it's going to happen, right?
No,
Bob?
that's not going to happen. No, the battery on the M3 is going to go in the back.
Okay.
So it's going to be a like a Phantom, something like that battery, and it's a much bigger battery because you're getting more flight time on it. So I know it's going to be a beefier drone, but yeah, you get more flight time. So
that was a big benefit when the Air 2 was out, and then they came out with the Air 2S. The batteries were interchangeable.
Absolutely.
I didn't buy a fly ball combo. I just bought the 2S drone and I used the old batteries.
I think the big question for a lot of people that are looking into this Mavic 3 is going to be people that have the smart controller is, and I think it's going to be. I mean, it all depends on the release of an update, a firmware update, whether the smart controller that we have now or anybody that has a smart controller is going to be able to use that smart controller with the Mavic 3, because then they won't have to purchase the Cine with the smart controller, version 2 smart controller that they're going to be releasing. Is that version 2 smart controller going to be available also to be bought separately? So those are the bigger questions, I believe. I mean, that's a good question. Will that battery, fit?
Yeah.
David Lorenzo, Yo Ray, and Mark.
Yeah, Dave. He's a guy that came to the South Florida drone meetup. I don't know if
David
you got
Lorenzo.
to meet him down there, but I could immediately.
I think I did.
And you talk to him. He's a professional, and then you go to his channel and you check it out. And David really, produces some nice videos down there in Florida. And I look forward to flying with him someday when I get down there.
I definitely recognize his symbol there. I think it's like Spider-Man or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So the Mavic 3, I mean, I think a lot of people are getting thrilled. Oh yeah, this is going to be, the micro four thirds, but we got to understand that a 1-inch sensor is bigger than a micro four thirds. The difference is it's going to be this camera is gonna I think the aperture, the f-stops are gonna be bigger.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's the one. If I'm saying this correctly, I mean, but the f-stops may be bigger, more f-stops. So, and that's what's gonna allow. There's gonna be certain aspects of that camera for low light situations that may be better than a 1-inch sensor, but the sensor is not going to be bigger than a 1-inch sensor, obviously, because it's micro four thirds. But and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that's what I know about micro four thirds compared to a 1-inch sensor. We all know that 1 inch is bigger than 4 thirds. So, anyways,
hey Steven, Flyby guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I don't know where you are. You do a lot of traveling, but the last I heard, you were in Indonesia. So thank you. And
Rose has a V1 and work with
he's
all
amazing. Vista. Steven, do you know Steven's son? Flyby guys, Mark. He's really, really in. He does a lot of commercial work. He's into the drone deliveries. And
I'm so bad with names. I don't know if it's because of my age or I've always been like that. Remember, I used to do a lot of. No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's one of those things,
No, bad with
I
names,
know there
but
was something I wanted to ask you, and I know you've told everybody on the Fly for Fun show how you became involved with drones. So maybe you could just share a little of that on this show.
so it's been a long time. It's been about 7 years or more, but I think it's like so if everybody doesn't know, I was a Michael Jackson impersonator, and
Mhm.
I was at a show. I was performing at a show, and it was some time ago. And when I was actually coming out to perform, somebody had it was a Phantom One,
Okay.
and I was like, "What is that?" So,
Yeah.
but I couldn't break character. So after the show, I got to talk to the guy, and that was it. I needed to get into it, and so when I got into it, I crashed a couple of times and didn't know what I was doing, and of course, and then I said, well, it's time to get to a open field and just start learning and go up, go down, go up, go down, going squares, going around, going, and then just do all these different flights. And then it's so funny because I didn't even know YouTube back then really like that, like to go find these reviews and tutorials and stuff like that. I didn't really connect to YouTube and didn't know about, even if I don't even know if guys were even around doing it back then, you know what I
Right.
mean, or talking about these things. So anyways, it was just learn, like practice and practice and practice until each drone came out, and I kept on getting Phantom 2, Phantom 3, and then the Karma comes out.
Oh, the karma.
Now, had I know the Karma, GoPro Karma was not gonna fly, I would have bought I would have taken an RC car and put wheels on it because it was better off. You know what I mean? The controller was so cool. It's I think it was like one of the first foldable drones until the Mavic Pro came out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, the backpack, you get the gimbal, it was amazing. You even got the GoPro to come with it. So that was awesome until it flew into an elderly home.
Well,
And when it,
I heard so many horror stories about the
uh,
car, and I got to witness it myself. TJ, he's not in the chat tonight, but TJ has one down in Florida, and he brought it over to my condo, and he's going to fly it
and you got a haircut.
above the $1 million yacht at the marina. And I says, TJ, I don't think that's a good idea. I
No.
really think it's a good idea. Let's just see if this thing will hover. Well, it hovered for about 2 minutes, 10 feet in the sky on the grass, and came right down. So I
and
saw
put those
the
and
farmer
put those wheels on it,
do a
right?
fall from the sky.
So yeah, so I was flying like right outside of my house. There's a soccer field, and I got my son out there, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is so cool too, like look at it, and I'm flying it, and all of a sudden I got it up, and all of a sudden it starts going away. I was like, wait, I ain't even doing nothing with the controller, and it starts going away and going away and going away. I was like, oh my god! And so there's an elderly home, one of them high rises, and it smashes against it, and I'm running and jumping over fences, and I was like, oh my goodness! So I grab it. Before you know it, I'm on the phone with them, and they're like, no, this is da, 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 da. And I was like, listen, let me tell you something. If you don't take this drone back, I'm telling you, you're gonna have big problems, right? So they end up taking it back and then sending me another one. They said this is like the version 2, it's supposed to be, this thing's supposed to fly and hold its ground, or hold its air, whatever. Lord have mercy, that one did the same thing. It was just all over the place. I was like, nah. I said, listen, man, it's probably one of the worst things I did in droning is I packed it up. It was brand new, and I sold it.
Okay.
I should have never done that because I just gave
Well,
somebody else a problem. But
let the buyer
what am I
beware,
to
as
do?
they say.
Listen, so I sold it, and then soon after that, the Mavic Pro came out, and that was just a that was probably one of the best buys of drones ever. You know,
like
the
that
Mavic
drone?
Pro. That was just that was amazing drone. I didn't like the gimbal so much. You know, it was too exposed. But it was a great drone. Then after that, it was the Evo 1. Actually, Auto Robotics sent me a Evo 1. I was one of the lead photographers at the New York City Drone Film Festival, and I got to meet.
Wow.
I got to meet, all those companies there. DJI wasn't there actually, but Auto Robotics was there. Red, and a whole bunch of other companies. Parrot was there. So they were sending me drones, and I was lucky enough to have them send me drones and stuff. But then I met this guy, and this was about 4.5, 5 years ago. I met this guy who owned an electronic business, and he had so many drones, and I was selling them for him, but I had to be 20 Phantom 4s, brand new in a box.
I heard about
and
that.
I was selling them at $750 a pop.
Oh man.
They were flying out the door. They were literally flying out the door. So anyways, that's how I really got into it. But like I said, it was a lot of practicing. I wouldn't come out and say what I did for a long time after I learned how to fly. And of course, while learning how to fly, I got a camera, learned the camera, and then started the business, Vision Media Production.
Okay, that's good. We'll talk about that next. But let me say hello to Bill from Coast to Coast Drones. Thank you for coming in. And
Karma.
on a Monday night at 6 p.m. But Mark, it's one of those things, and we use this question on the Fly for Fun show. But if you had a dream location, where would your dream location be, where you could fly somewhere?
Rhode Island. No.
Rhode Island. Okay. There's so many great places, right?
No, there's so many places in Rhode Island. So if you flip that question around to the viewers out there, please, if you don't come and fly in Rhode Island, you're missing out, bro. I'm telling you, anybody that's out there, I don't mean to say bro, but if there's women out there that fly, also come down. I mean, it's a beautiful place to fly. I'm telling you. But my dream would be Africa.
Okay, yeah,
because that's where all the wildlife is, and
African safari.
Absolutely, and getting the clearance to be able to fly there, and just flying over some wildebeest, getting chased by a pride or something, that would be amazing, So.
Well, I did that down in Florida. I flew over a 14-foot alligator.
Woo!
And he looked up at the drone, and he said, "Why are you bothering me?"
Sorry, I'm yawning. Yeah, no. So when I was down there, I wanted to do that so bad, and I went to an alligator farm, and it was he took us out on the boat. The lady's got the airboat, and she's going too fast, and I'm trying to get shots, and of course I didn't have my drone with me, to get shots, and they wouldn't allow that. But I was able to fly over there, but you'd have to fly so far away, and I'm very cautious about how far I fly. I feel as though if I have to go that far, I'll drive there and get the shot in the location that I want to get the shot.
Well, I got to tell you, and this is again trying to sell the South Florida Drone Meetup to people, but we're going on a fishing trip on that Monday. It's a half-day fishing trip. And I was told that Bill Ronayne knows the captain, and he allows people to fly their drone right from the fishing boat.
Whoa.
So that should be pretty cool.
So you mean if I'm up there early, I can...
And the other thing is, let me know when I'm going to add your name to this list. We got 27 names right on this list right now. So let me know when
I tell you, I got to unplug this so my wife can hear all this. You know what I mean? So I know she was looking at. She was also looking last night at some cruises. We've never been on a cruise, so
yeah.
But you know, I have to tell her it can't interfere with, you know,
Well,
this
I know
date.
you probably want a nice cruise, a fancy ship and all of that, but we have a Palm. It's in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is a small port, but there's a cruise ship down there that does 2-night cruises to the Bahamas, and I love
Really?
it. I really love it. It's very inexpensive,
So what
and
you're saying is we do the vacation, right? We go there, we get down there for the Florida drone meetup, and then we just go on over to what did you say,
well,
Palm
that was out of
Springs,
Palm Beach, but
Palm Beach.
a lot of these cruise lines are doing 3 and 4 day cruises now and 5 day cruises.
So we stay down there for a little while and then go on this cruise and then head back.
But you
That
like
might
fishing,
work.
right? You like
Oh,
fishing?
I love fishing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You even did a commercial for a chartered boat, didn't you?
Yeah, it did. Actually went viral on that went viral and it did really well. And the guy,
Mhm.
you know, loved it. And I went out back and shot some stuff for like some fishing apparel and that he represents. And yeah, no, I love fishing. You know, I don't get to do much of it. You know,
Got
but
to make
yeah,
time
I
for
was.
fishing. Got to make time for fishing.
Yeah, fishing is fun, man. I
I,
got a
it's
ton of
like this,
I
but
got a ton of posts.
I keep a fishing rod in my SUV at all times.
It looks like you got a harpoon back there too, though.
Yeah. There's a harpoon up there. Yeah,
Are you a whaler?
yeah. Actually, my next door neighbor gave that to my son years and
Oh, wait a
years.
minute. Wait, are you a Bob Marley in the whalers?
but but I told the guys that the other night on a stream. I says, yeah, that's I harpoon whales with that.
Susan said cruises are beautiful. Yeah, I've never been on a cruise, man. You know,
Oh,
I gotta go on a cruise.
you
So
got to do it.
yeah,
Then
I know. Before I get too old, huh? Which
you
would
will
be the
love it.
next couple of days.
I mean, certain people, I guess it ain't for them, but most people love cruises. It's a great
Well, you know,
value for a vacation.
well, the thing is that my wife and I don't drink, so I don't know if that would
You don't even have to buy the beverage package then. Then it's real cheap for you.
we'll get we'll get drunk on Shirley Temples.
Yeah, well, that's my wife and I too. Same thing. That's exactly what we
Yeah,
do. You
I
know,
love Shirley Temples. Yeah.
and it's one of those things where I'm looking for. Actually, you're gonna laugh at this, but this right here, Mark. Um,
Uh, just
this
trying
is
to
information on a cruise that I'm gonna book right here. I got
really.
to call into Vacations to Go. That's who I use. I plug them, and I'm waiting for a call back to get
You
that
have
deal.
to send that information to me.
Yeah, and it's a good cruise.
um,
You go to St. Kitts, St. Thomas, and Grand Turk, and it's Princess Cruises.
Princess Cruises. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
somebody said something about. Let me see. I'm gonna try to go back into the chat. Um, I don't know who it was, but he said it's Friday here.
one other thing, I want to tell everybody that after this show is the World Drone Community. Robbie Gray and Al Duran, they have that show, and
Oh,
we try
is that the guys that are gonna be doing this like
auction. Well, it's going to be
auction?
the auction's going to start with Robbie Gray and Chris from QC Guy, but
Oh, Robbie Gray.
they have a great live stream after this, and
Oh
I
he
really
reached
did
out to
want
me today.
um, you know cut our conversation short because you're such an interesting guest, Mark. You really are. You know,
Appreciate it, man.
but I tell you, I am honored, the privilege to know you and to be associated with you. You know,
Same here,
and
right?
then again, everybody in this chat, if you're not subscribed to Mark and you don't know Mark, you got to get to know him because he is one of the better guys in this drone community. There are so many, but he is one of the better ones. So
Appreciate
thank
it. I
you
really
again for
appreciate
coming
it.
on the show tonight, Mark.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure.
We'll have you on again. But if you have any closing thoughts that you want to share, you can say
Just a
that.
quick tip. You know, it's getting cold, and if you're in the New England area, or if you're in a place where the climate is, changing, and as far as the cold, just remember, those batteries need to stay warm. Always check your batteries. That's what's keeping your drone in the air. You don't want something falling out of the sky because your battery was cold or whatever. And most DJI, they won't allow you to fly anyway if the temperature of the batteries. But keep them in a area where the temperature is right, so that you're not having some issues. One more thing: make sure you do an IMU, and make sure you do a compass calibration. Those are important things. It's like not putting oil in your car. So.
Well, I tell you, Mark, those are two great tips. No doubt about it.
Definitely.
And like I say, thank you for being on the show tonight. And I know I'll see you shortly. I will be calling you, as they say.
Yes.
Where's the phone? Do. I'll be calling you, and we'll make a date to get up there and fly together.
I know a nice breakfast spot that's right across the corner from the Battleship Cove. It's a nice breakfast spot there. We'll either have breakfast or lunch. So.
Sounds good, Mark. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody in the chat. Thank you. We'll see you again next week. Get out there, fly for fun, fly safe, and we'll see you again. Mark, I'll see you. Okay?
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.